Changes are coming to reptile shipping, and what are we gonna do about it? Also, as you can see, Chuck's not here. Father's Day just passed, and he was like, I gotta go to Puerto Rico to go find my father. Anyways...
He's out in the wilderness trying to find him.
Welcome back to the Reptiles With Podcast. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share with your reptile-loving friends. Let's get the ball rolling before we touch the Morph Market stuff. Yes, Chuck is not here today. Right now, he is in the middle of filming his documentary in Puerto Rico. We can't talk too much about it just yet.
He's out there doing the work.
He's doing some work, but he will be back soon, and I'm sure that you guys will hear a lot about it.
All right, so you probably noticed I'm not on the podcast today, and that's because I flew all the way to Puerto Rico to record a documentary on reticulated pythons being invasive here. I have been so successful. My friends have been great, and I can't wait to show you guys exactly what I have found. There is so much into it. I hope Eric and Yoshii are not boring your fucking ear off. Them fuckers are so boring in the AC right now. I'm fucking sweating my ass here like a real Puerto Rican. Them boys, white. Other than that, thank you guys. Keep watching. Love y'all.
A little bit ago from when we're recording this episode, there was some changes that seemed to be going on with Morph Market shipping. People had some concerns, and, you know, we got to talk about it because it's a hot topic in the reptile community. People might think that now because they are the sponsor of the #1 reptile podcast that we can't talk about this stuff, but we're still going to talk about it. We got to do the thing. So one of the members in a Morph Market group on Facebook wrote, "Super confused about this new requirement for boxes. What's the explanation behind it? The logo on the box surely has nothing to do with otherwise shipping Morph Market. Could just simply not be... Sorry. The logo on the box surely has nothing to do with shipping, otherwise Morph Market could just simply not brand the boxes they sell as well as other box companies. My boxes aren't branded, but if they're there, can I not just cross it out with tape onto like over the brands?" So the reason why they said this is that they shared a photo that apparently they got a notification on Morph Market that says, "Per new FedEx requirements, you may not reuse boxes or use packaging with another reptile shipping company's name on it." So if you are using Morph Market shipping, okay, you cannot use a box, from pretty much
Reptiles Express or something like that.
Yeah, from a competing reptile shipping company.
Got you.
Not, you can't use a reptile related company, shipping company, right? Or the generic boxes, right? So, one of the employees from Morph Market responded to that. She said, "As per new FedEx requirements, you may not reuse boxes or use packaging with another reptile shipping company's name or logo. All packaging must be approved for live animal shipments by FedEx. This is FedEx policy and will apply to all reptile shipping companies. FedEx may not accept boxes that do not meet these requirements. You may only use packaging approved for live animal shipments with generic information or packaging with the name/logo of the reptile shipping company you are using to create the shipping label. For example, if you ship with Morph Market shipping, you may only use boxes with Morph Market branding or generic reptile shipping boxes such as the ones sold on TSK. If you plan to use Morph Market shipping, we strongly suggest you only utilizing boxes purchased from us directly." Those can be found on, and they put their the website. Lacey Act labels must also have the logo/name of the shipping company that you are using, or be blank. If you are using Morph Market shipping, you can download and print the Lacey Act labels. If you have more questions, please email support@morphmarket.com.
So the one thing that kind of stood out to me was that you may not reuse boxes.
Okay.
I'm okay with that because just going off of the stuff that we used to do and a lot of stuff that we see, people like to reuse boxes. I know that the reptile shipping boxes specifically, they can get expensive, and that is because of the styrofoam and stuff that goes into it. But when it comes to animals and stuff, when we're shipping stuff, it is kind of nice to know that the box is not going to be like tossed around and reused, because I've seen some pretty gross boxes be reused for example, I've seen imports in rough shape get shipped in a box that box would then be reused to like, you know, work with like leopard geckos or something and get shipped out that way.
Yeah, and it's
So
just
it's
like,
like-
dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I like that. And when it comes to like the logo stuff, I mean, I guess it makes, from a business perspective, it makes sense. You're shipping through Morph Market. You want that box to say Morph Market on it. That way, not only do you have, I guess the appearance there, but also everything shipping wise is controlled by that company. So they have pretty much full freedom, not free, full rule making. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's to make sure that all the shipping that goes under their name is being done the way they need it to be done, which is obviously through FedEx requirements and all that stuff too. Just to make sure that they're keeping their liabilities in check.
Okay, so check this out.
At least that's what I get from it.
I'm
From
gonna
my
give you the perspective of the person that might be the pessimist in this situation. Obviously, they're concerned with the fact that they want to use. They might think that this is a power play by Morph Market, right? A person might think that this is coming out of nowhere. It seems a little bit fishy, and all of those things.
Because to my knowledge too, it was never really a big deal about boxes before all this, right?
Correct.
But the thing is, Morph Market didn't handle their own shipping.
Oh, well, hold up. You're saying that Morph Market didn't care about it before, or you're just saying in general, FedEx?
Morph Market in the past, they before they started doing shipping themselves, it was never a thing with the boxes.
Okay, so
right?
check this out. After we finished working together at said place that we used to work together, I went out to further my relationship with FedEx. Okay, because I already had my own FedEx account, but I pretty much supplied them with like, hey, I want to ship directly through you. These are rates that I was using before. Can you compete with these rates? And they told me that they could offer even better rates. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm going to go directly with my FedEx account. Their requirements were for me, if I want to have my own FedEx account to ship my reptiles in, I need to supply them with a test box. And this box needs to meet all of the regulations and be how I'm going to be sending out these animals. Okay? Therefore, if I had my own labeling, it needed to be that box. I couldn't be they didn't allow a reused box. They were very specific of the way that the box was going to be and it was going to be distributed because they wanted to make sure that that was a representation of how I was going to run my business. Okay? So as far as I knew, that's kind of how it went. And I was like, oh, like I could see, how do I say this? I don't think I was surprised that a company like Morph Market was very lax to be able to like, oh, you can just ship, like if it's a reptiles to you or whatever the hell, like you can use whatever box. Like I was like, oh, it's cool that they didn't care about it. But now they have to crack down on it because of, I'm sure it has a lot to do with that because these are the requirements that were already there that FedEx said that you have to do, right? And it might also have to do with the fact of the way that some of this stuff is written on these boxes because they need to be compliant with the Lacey Act. You're familiar with the Lacey Act. You're familiar with that certain information is supposed to be on this box, right? I'm going to read through some of this stuff, okay? Shipping Lacey/IATA compliance labels. Proper Lacey/IATA labeling is mandated by federal law for all live animal shipments. The outside of the box must be clearly labeled with all of the following information: common names of the animals that are inside, specific names of the animals, scientific names of the animals inside, and then the quantities of each species. So then here in Morph Market, I see that they supply the examples of what this is. So you'll see like they'll have here like I'm going to put some of these pictures up, wildlife, and then, just all of that information. Mind you, if you're shipping 1 or 2 animals, 3 animals, it's easy. But if you're shipping a whole shipment of mixed species, it obviously gets complicated. Now, obviously people aren't happy about a lot of this stuff. Okay? When one little thing changes, everybody gets up in the arms about it. Everybody goes a little bit wild, right? So I see here that the employee again says boxes cannot be reused regardless of branding. FedEx will not accept boxes that appear to be damaged or reused. The branding is unrelated to that rule. If your box has a name or a logo of another shipping company, that is who the label needs to be created through. It seems, I guess that's because FedEx may be having some kind of issue somewhere down the road, and they need to be able to track a lot of these things because now there's more and more of these reptile shipping companies coming up. They need to be a little bit more strict. And now I see here somebody named Cameron Lamb says reusing shipping boxes isn't a new rule. It's been that way for a long time, but hardly anyone enforces it. However, using boxes with another company's name on it is just a Morph Market rule. That's what they're saying.
Gotcha.
The employee says this is what we were told by FedEx directly, and we will enforce it accordingly. They may not accept your packages or may report our account for violations if these are not followed. These types of violations can result in FedEx removing our shipping account, which would mean we are no longer able to provide discounted shipping rates. These guidelines apply to all shipping companies, not just us. Somebody else responds to that, says, so we can just tape over the brand from a different company, is a new box, if we still have some in stock. And then so the employee writes, we're currently waiting on confirmation from FedEx about whether customers can reuse brand new boxes that were previously purchased from another shipping company, as long as the logo or name is fully covered by a sticker or shipping company or shipping label. We'll share an update as soon as we have it.
It's hard for me to have a really strong opinion on it all, just because I'm not really involved in most of that.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of just like it. If you're in a position where your business is run with restrictions like this, you kind of have to, at least from me knowing what I know and learning about this stuff, it seems like if you're wanting to do business through Morph Market,
you have to be compliant to the rules.
You have to be compliant. I mean, that's not something that's new to anything. If you want to, you just got to play by the rules of whatever platform you're on. I don't care if it's like a business or a game or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to play it right, you have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
If you don't like the rules, I'm assuming there's other ways to do it. Maybe it's not as convenient as Morph Market is, but if you're that hellbent on not wanting to follow that rule, it might be worth just going somewhere else. I don't know how any of that works.
Yeah, I smell conspiracies, and the walls speak, and I just have feelings about a lot of this stuff. But what I will say for sure is that, man, it's hard to talk about this and not sound like a shill because they're a sponsor. But the reality is, even before they were a sponsor, I said it. Like, I was using Morph Market shipping to ship my Christmas presents because of the rates, dude. As a business owner, they've saved me so much money. The reason why I started using Morph Market shipping, even at a time where I was, I mean, we've been on the podcast vocally about like issues that I was having with the change in regime at Morph Market, and then Darian has come on the podcast and spoken. He's answered calls, and we have communication, and it's just like I'm like the Morph Market shipping it's good.
Yeah,
the prices are great. I don't use my own FedEx account because I still get better rates through Morph Market. Before Morph Market did their shipping department, right? I was checking my rates versus a lot of the reptile shipping companies that were there, and I was paying a lot more money than what I was paying prior, because every year these shipping rates go up, right? So I was paying a lot of money, but I still was getting a little bit of a better discount than these shipping companies were offering me when I was checking, like, just for estimates and stuff like that. And then when I started seeing the prices on Morph Market shipping, I was like, dude, I would be stupid to, especially at the state of where the market was and the size of my business and all these things that I have to consider, I would be stupid to not use this product because I need to save money in every which way that I can.
Yeah.
Mind you, maybe if I was if if revenue was quadruple what it is now, and I could be a much more loyal to my friend's company that I've been using for years, and we have a good rapport and all that stuff, maybe that's a little bit different. But my prerogative is to save money right now. Things are tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use the cheapest shipping rate, and that's with Morph Market. Somebody writes here, between this and closing hubs, FedEx is trying hard to push 100% of the reptile business to UPS, and we'll talk a little bit more about that soon.
Okay.
Because apparently that's a thing. A lot of these FedEx hubs are, they are starting to close. Now I'm going to show you the picture. You know who that is? You know who that is by that photo right there? I'm not.
I can't see the photo. Hold
Okay, zoom it in. I'll let Eric do that. I'm not going to say the person's name. You know who that is, right? So the person comments, why aren't any of these other companies, and then they name Reptiles Express, Reptiles to You, Ship Your Reptiles, Redline, mentioning any of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody else comments to them, and they say, actually, they do. So on Redline, they write here, they have it in their rules, FedEx require you to use your certified packaging from Redline shipping, which meet or exceed Redline shipping strategies. And then I have here another one from Reptiles to You. Approved packaging is in their guidelines. It says Reptiles to You have developed special packaging that's with boxes, foam, cups, bags, etc. that have been tested and approved by FedEx Labs and is available for purchase. Buyer understands and acknowledges that the carrier approves the shipping of items through the service only in packaging. So it's exactly what I said. They vet the type of packaging that you're going to be using with their service, and they expect that packaging. And then I have here also on Ship Your Reptiles. Ship Your Reptiles has 3 different box variations approved for live shipping: an insulated white box with red lettering, an insulated white box with green lettering, and pre-printed LACIAC/IATA labeling. So then Morph Market from there goes and makes a different post on a different page. It says, when you buy our shipping boxes, every dollar of profit goes to conservation. And then, of course, people, even when they're trying to be even when it's a situation like we're trying to fan the flame a little bit, I'm sorry, these things are rule changes, there's benefit to this. Of course, people are going to have, questions, or they're going to have...
That's how it goes.
Yeah. So we have a comment here that says, how to make our users not question us, saying you must only use our boxes without making it obvious we're only doing it for profit reasons. You can't win. No. You can't fucking win.
The thing is, too, what makes this all so much more difficult is that Morph Market is just such a big player in this entire industry that it is very, very easy for them to make these business moves, and then the masses kind of get all in a mix because of how big they are. That's where the conflict is, in my opinion, from what I see from all the stuff that happens. Mm-hmm. And it just creates a very confusing problem, just because it's a mixture of being really big in an industry that doesn't really have big players, and then people who are stuck in their ways and their own little business deals and stuff. That it's the business aspect of it has always been very, I don't know it.
Yeah.
So when I see all this stuff happening, I have a very outside looking in viewpoint, because I don't know what it's like as the business owners that are needing to ship these animals and stuff, and I also don't know what it's like to be the business person providing the boxes like Morph Market and stuff. So it's for me, I don't know.
I smell conspiracy, dude. You know me, I'm fucking Mr. Conspiracy. I think that there is something fishy going on, because people have had it out for this service from the get-go. Mm-hmm. They weren't happy with the rates, right? Now, Morph Market did change their discount. Before it was 72%. Now they're offering 69%. A 3% different. But I know that every year these prices for shipping changes through FedEx. So it was expected. Now, they also posted that because of a lot of these changes and stuff like that, they're offering something new. Morph Market posts on June 3rd. Last year, we launched Morph Market shipping to help sellers save money while safely shipping reptiles nationwide. We started with a 65% FedEx discount for all paid members, and since then we've run promotions and pushed that discount for up to 75%. As many of you know, reptile shipping hasn't seen real competition in over a decade. That old system that hasn't always put breeders first. So when we offered a new option, it shook things up. We won't speculate on every factor, but disruption often comes with pressure. Behind the scenes, that shift hasn't gone unnoticed. Because of this, our FedEx overnight discount dropped slightly to 69% starting next week. Over time, these rates will be based on your membership tier, but we're committed to offering at least 65% off FedEx priority overnight shipping for all paid members through the end of the year. Now, for the good news. We're adding UPS as another shipping option with next day air starting at 72% off. Here's what that means for you. Better average discounts than FedEx, stronger on-time delivery performance. They've seen the numbers, and then 5,000 plus hold for pickup locations across the country, more reliable services as FedEx continues to close hubs. Whether you ship a few animals a year or hundreds, that gives you more control, better service, and lower costs. So there's options. Of course, if you're so anti what's going on, there are other places for you to spend your money. But you also got to know that means that you're going to probably be losing a little bit of your profit margins. That's just the reality of it. You can make that decision. If you have your own issue with the company, that's the good thing about our markets. We have a free market. You can do whatever it is that you want. You got final thoughts on this?
On the Morph Market thing?
No?
Not really, man.
I'll tell you my final thoughts.
That's not my wheelhouse.
I smell conspiracy, and I will also continue to use Morph Market shipping because I save a lot of money.
Thank
I
you,
save
Morph Market.
yeah, I save a lot of money. Cue the ad.
Oh my.
Dude, can you believe we're getting sponsored by the biggest reptile company yet?
I can't. We just got to tell Yoshii, see what he thinks.
All right, Yoshii.
Oh my god, this is not what it looks like.
This video is sponsored by Morph Market, the world's largest marketplace for reptiles, amphibians, and even arachnids. Buy directly from verified sellers. Whether you're a first-time keeper or a hobbyist, Morph Market connects you with the best in the hobby.
I use it for shipping.
Always use Morph Market for your next reptile. Let's keep on going.
All right, we all know reptiles need bugs. And what better place to look for your bugs than online, not just any place, at dubia.com, because on there, not only can you find dubia roaches, you can find hornworms, you can find mealworms, and Discord roaches for your Florida folks. And while you're at it, you can go and scrolling through on their website. They also sell really awesome front open enclosures, super easy to build. So this is a nice example of one of their 4x2s, and I'm currently working on saving up to get some of those 4x4s, so these little carpet pythons can get nice and big and look awesome.
Father's Day just passed. On our Mother's Day episode, we had this like really themed, the best mothers in the reptile community, and I did my best to try to figure that stuff with the power of ChatGPT.
Oh my god!
And I could also with the power of ChatGPT, I could not figure out a Father's Day related thing to this.
In nature, the father's place in a lot of animals is very limited.
Yeah,
They're just there to.
They're the vowel Y,
and they're out.
They're the vowel Y. That's sometimes Y. It's just,
The only thing I will say is that a lot of the time the males are a lot prettier.
Yeah, specifically with birds.
Birds, reptiles. What else? Some mammals too. Hoofstock and all that.
Yep.
Antelope. Usually, some species will both male and female have horns, but like
the males are much more presentable.
Usually, the nice ones are the males.
Yeah,
like deer, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
No, well, rhinos aren't, but
yeah.
What else has?
We'll
tusks?
talk about the rhino very soon.
I'm just trying to think of animals that have both horns, female and male, but there's not too much out there.
Yeah, but I did want to take some time to, and I feel kind of bad that I didn't do it for Mother's Day, but I did.
What?
Happy belated Mother's Day to my mother. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, I told her, but because what I'm about to say right now, like I didn't. I feel bad because I didn't praise my mom like the way that I would with what I'm about to say. But I got a super big happy Father's Day for my dad because, I mean, my dad has been pretty much like one of the biggest supporters with when it came to music. He was at every show. It was the first thing that I was good at. So he was at every show. He fucking would always go out of his way to make sure I was at my guitar class. When I started getting into reptiles, I mean, my mom, my mom also helped me out a lot, but my dad gave me his yard, their yard to fucking dig a huge pond out of concrete and whatever that they couldn't. After the divorce, they couldn't tear it down, and when they sold the house stayed with the fucking concrete pond, and I don't even know what happened to it now.
I wonder what. I'd like to see what happens to it in a few years.
Yeah, I was actually, for Father's Day, I went down to go visit him, and we stopped by the neighbor's house, and I wanted to peek over the fence to see if it was still there.
Oh.
No, I didn't. It's illegal to do that. But yes, I gotta say a super to the father figures in my life. Super big Father's Day. My dad, my two uncles for sure. My uncle John specifically, like, he's another one, and he listens to the podcast, so he will text me about this. He's not a father, but he's still a father figure to me, and he was the one that gave me his garage when I first started getting into snakes. Because my dad, even though he supported me through everything, the snakes was where he drew the line. And he was like, I'm scared of these things. Like, I don't know, whatever. And I had to force it on him because of a hurricane to take him out from my Uncle John's house to the house that we lived in. And I was like, no, there's no choice. They might flood. I need to move them out of the garage. But my Uncle John did give us our first snake facility by giving us his whole garage, and we bought our first rack and bred our first ball pythons. There's a old video of my cousin and I collecting our first clutch in that garage, and that's all because of him. He's the one that really started off. He listens to every single episode of the podcast. He'll send me a text about like, oh, I heard this, or he'll like follow up with me about a story that we talk about. And whenever I get him on the phone, like, he's always talking to me about the latest trends in ball pythons.
Really?
Yeah, he really got involved in this side of my life, and developed a very good relationship with him because of a lot of the animal stuff, because my dad and him were the ones that in my life bred birds. So like, and my uncle bred a lot of like green cheek like morphs and stuff like that. My dad bred a lot of like ringneck morphs, so they were familiar with the idea of it. My uncle more so, like, whenever we talk, he's always talking to me about like, oh, the monsoon did you see that this guy posted that or whatever? And then he'll talk to me about like the clutches that we're getting, and I'll tell him the pairings, and he's like, oh, so you have a good chance of this, you have a good chance of that.
That's cool.
And he really does stay in contact. And whenever I post babies, he'll tell that whenever the next time I speak with him, he's like, I saw you got the albino turtle. And because when I first started talking to him about like turtles and stuff like that, he was the one that was like, one day you'll get the albino, and he'll help me buy my first albino. So all that stuff, Dio, I love you. And yeah, so happy Father's Day to the father figures and whatnot. Now let's talk about this white rhino. Pull that up.
Oh, it's so sad.
We got bad news.
It's really sad.
The white rhinos are officially, functionally extinct.
Yes. So the northern white rhino has been endangered for so long. There used to be a male and two females, which was a mother and a daughter. The male died very conveniently, right? A couple years ago, and the females were a little old, and I believe as of recent, one of the females has also passed away. So checking to see some more stuff here. The last male died at conservancy, and then the only two that remain are the mother and daughter. But I saw something about one of the females died, but
why don't you read the article?
I can't find the specific article. I have something here that's like giving me like fact checks about all of them. So that's what I've read off of. But just knowing from what I've seen, there is still hope.
Okay, what can you tell us about white rhinos, and then can you tell us something about like why there's hope?
Yeah, so the northern white rhino is a subspecies of white rhino, obviously.
Yeah.
That has been just having a terrible time. They've been endangered forever, obviously because of their horn. People love to shoot them for their horns because it makes fat dough in a lot of countries that believe in traditional medicine, which obviously doesn't help for the animals because that stuff doesn't work, guys.
Yeah.
So they pretty much got slaughtered with poaching and all that stuff, and all the rhinos are in trouble, by the way. But the northern white rhino was really hit hard to the point where there was only the 3 left. The male died a few years ago, and right now they're actually working with artificial insemination. I'm seeing.
Oh,
here.
really?
They've scientists have managed to create 35 northern white rhino embryos, which they hope to implant in a female southern, which are the closest species to the northern. So they're a separate species, I believe now. I'm very bad with remembering.
Are we gonna have
that.
to? Are we gonna colossal this dude?
They might. Hey, that's what colossal should be working with, in my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion, guys, colossal should be working with that stuff first before they tackle the other big stuff.
Yeah.
But as of this month, rumors have emerged that the northern white rhino is now extinct. So it looks like the story is still developing, but it does look like it's official. It's very confusing because I did see a couple different ones that say the embryo stuff, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff that it's like over.
Mm-hmm. Now, when it say it's, what's the
dying.
difference between functionally extinct and extinct for the people?
So functionally extinct is when the ability for them to breed is out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the example of the northern white rhino, since they had the male, the two females, once that male's out,
functionally
extinct, right? They were holding on to the possibility of them. Oh, my phone's dead. Of trying to hope that there's retained sperm and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's making me think that it's over. Just because it's still a developing story from what I keep seeing. And then regular extinct is just like, they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the two females gone, not in captivity anymore.
There's extinct in the wild, which is you only have that captive population, then functionally extinct, and then there's extinct. So it is very unfortunate, but me personally, I saw it coming because I've known that the male died already. So I was like, well, I mean, it's only a matter of time now.
Yeah.
But since they are working with genetics and embryos and stuff like that, it's maybe not over. I really do think that colossal situation really did kind of, what's the word? Not inspire. I feel like it's too dramatic, but kind of brought a lot more attention to this genetic stuff and the genomes and all that stuff. And I would assume it would be easier for those species because we actually still have physical bodies of the animals that are living. So I can only assume that there might be something going on. But I mean, if we're talking about technicalities, the actual northern white rhino, it's pretty much gone.
How do you think they got the sperm out of that guy?
Jacking them off.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man. That's how they do it.
I know, but like with a horse, like horses weigh like a rhino is huge. How the fuck? I don't know, man. That whole thing is so weird to me. I don't know, man.
Listen, with big animals like that, there's ways.
Oh God.
There's ways.
Damn, dude. I think that hopefully with the help of a company that's similar to Colossal, like I feel like that's definitely could be a reality. I think that not that people hate Colossal, but Colossal.
Their name is It's Colossal, at least on Instagram.
Got you.
But I'm sure it's just Colossal.
Got you. Well, they got, I think, they got hit pretty hard with the dire wolf stuff because they were like, we got this dire wolf, and everybody was like, it's not a dire wolf, and then they were like, all right, so it's actually not really a dire wolf. So this would be some good deed on their part if they figure out a way to help out with this.
I don't know if they will. Maybe they are working on it because no one really knew about the dire wolves until they released them.
Yeah.
And they were, how old were they again? They were like a year and a half,
something like that. Yeah.
So who knows what they got going on.
It's crazy how we can read something on this podcast and completely forget about it.
Yeah, I know. I know. But on that same note of like the genomes and all that stuff, it's like scarily similar to like Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Specifically Jurassic World, because I don't know if you follow like the extended lore of all that stuff, but
it's out
literally
right now.
It's literally what's happening right now, just at a much more fantastical, for fictional purposes. But we're literally going down that route.
Finding the right substrate is a paramount part of reptile keeping. And if you're looking for the best cocoa option, we recommend Cocoa to Go. Cocoa can be used for reptiles, amphibians, and even plants, so they're perfect for any kind of setup. So we make sure to use Cocoa to Go. Let them know that the Reptiles With Podcast sent you. We got fucking dragons and dinosaur all over the theaters right now.
I know.
Jurassic World just came out. We got to go watch that.
Wait, just came out? When did it come out?
No, it comes out.
It's coming out soon.
It comes out.
How to Train Your Dragon just came out.
Well, it comes out the weekend that this episode comes out. It comes out
Ooh.
next weekend. I mean,
Look at that.
yeah. And How to Train Your Dragon did just come out. Did you see what Tiki posted?
No.
Bro, they got like a paid partnership to promote How to Train Your Dragon.
What?
With their black dragon.
Oh my god. Wait, that's what that was.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh,
shit.
you want to meet my Toothless or something?
my
I'm gonna
God.
feed him salmon." But in his Venezuelan accent, this fucking guy, he's like, "I will feed him the salmon." He said salmon. That's not how you say it, David.
it's
I know you listen to this
salmon.
podcast. It's salmon.
bro.
All right,
Come on.
come on. I know English is your second language, my friend.
I saw that video, but I didn't have the audio on. Shit, I'm a fake fan. I was driving.
Somos
My
fake
bad,
fans.
bro. My bad. Congratulations on the
Yeah.
deal, for real.
Yeah, I honestly that was really fucking cool.
That's awesome.
That was sick. I was like, dude, there's no way. I have to talk to them about the logistics of that because I'm like, was it like the studio that reached out or was it like is it a
know.
marketing? That's so cool.
Get him on the phone right now.
I can't. I'm recording with
I
the
know
thing.
that's the joke.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, dude.
How do you feel about the animation of that movie?
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Yeah, did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet, but like from the trailers and stuff, I've been noticing with like movies and stuff, especially when it comes to like creatures, they keep the cartoonish look.
How do I feel about that specifically?
Yeah.
I feel like that was the thing that they should have done.
You think so? Because I'm the opposite. It's because I grew up when we had all those photos.
I never even seen How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but the reason why I think that they
So
should,
good. So good.
I know I should see it, but they should do it because it's supposed to bring in nostalgia. Because
Yes.
if they change it too much, they have a Sonic issue
Yes. Yes, and I think
and a
What
Stitch
sucks-
issue.
what.
Because Stitch was a similar thing. They fucked it up
Yes.
first. And
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, the thing is, I grew up with like the Bayverse Transformers movies,
Yeah.
and everybody hates those. But it's like when you make a live action.
hit the Optimus Prime right now. Hit
No,
it.
bro.
Hit it.
I can't
Hit it
anymore.
close to the
I
mic so
literally
it's deep.
can't. I
I
can't.
am off. Do it.
I'm not
Try it.
able to do it
Try
anymore.
Try it for
I
the pod.
can't.
Try it for the podcast, bro.
No.
Oh!
No, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't. God, it's so embarrassing. Jesus Christ, I hate you. I hate you so much.
Oh, we've
Um,
lost the script so bad, but whatever, dude.
No, but listen. Long story short,
Yeah.
I think it's funny how they made the rest of the dragons look
Yeah.
very photorealistic for what they are, and then Toothless looks like a carbon copy from the movie. I don't know. I
Wait,
just think
what? The other ones look
The
different.
other ones look more realistic than Toothless. But the thing is with Toothless, yeah, because I saw renderings and stuff
Yeah.
of a realistic version. It's kind of ugly. Not gonna lie. So I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. And the nostalgia factor is of course a very
Yeah.
very important thing there.
What about in Jurassic World? Are you excited about anything specific? How does
I
this
am.
follow
I
the
feel like I'm one of the
storyline?
only people who are very excited for what that franchise is becoming because everyone's complaining they're like, oh, it's just going too crazy now, but it's like that's kind of the whole point. Like you get Jurassic Park with the sprout of like what he was saying, like, oh, you work so hard to figure out if you can that you don't talk about if you should. That was planted. It marinated through 3 movies. We have that hiatus, and then we get Jurassic World, which is kind of like not the reimagining, but you didn't learn your lesson the first time in the 90s. You're about to learn your lesson again in the 2010s. And then with the extended stuff, because with big franchises like that, you have like the kids shows and all that stuff. That's all real storytelling for the movies.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of progression, and you see a lot of like, wow, this science has really gone insane. And with the new Jurassic World movie, we're seeing like the monsters that they
Yeah.
make, because the Jurassic World movies are zeroing down on the fact that these are not real dinosaurs.
Good.
Because
they're not.
They're not. Then they start with the Indominus, which is the mix, and the hybrid, and they start with the hybrids, and they go into these crazy, weird, ugly things that look like a beluga whale, like we saw in the trailer. So I'm excited to see, because like it opened up such a big can of worms for that franchise.
Yeah.
And I feel like people need to see past that. Like, dude, if you want to watch Jurassic Park, you watch the old ones. I don't know. I feel
It's a different thing. It's a different thing.
I feel very different than what a lot of people do when it comes to like old franchises coming back.
Got you.
I'm more open to it, except for Star Wars. Don't excuse that.
Yeah.
Shit. Everything else, I've been very like open and eager to see how they move on with the stories. But
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna close this off right now, but obviously you can support us by becoming a member. As you can see, this shirt that I'm wearing This is one of the new
It's
merch.
the reptiles with merch.
Yes, the new reptiles with merch. I have it
merch
down
on
there.
it.
You can't see it. Actually, I'll show it off real quick.
He walks up.
This is the, inside of here is the reptiles with coffee. And becoming a member is one of the best ways to support the boys. Actually, one of these upcoming episodes, and another reason why you should become a member is one of these upcoming episodes. It's going to be what I'm calling Reptiles with Squad. So it's going to be an episode with members of the podcast that we record together over a stream, and then we're going to release it to the public. But it's like a great question and answer opportunity. We get to better work on the community, get to know each other a little bit more. I bring in special guests, people that you're familiar with on the podcast in our revolving cast, like Tyler that shows up every once in a while and goes hello. And then can I spoil the other guest that came back to
Sure, why not? Sure.
Well, then we had our friend also known as and comes back for the episode for that. But yes, guys, thank you guys so much.
It's rumored.
It's spoiler alert. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, this was the Reptiles with Podcast.